Hey believers, I know it's long overdue, but it's finally here. It is a video premiere for the Fancy Believer channel. So a few weeks ago, I posted on Instagram asking for some questions. What questions would you like to ask me? What would you like to know about the Fancy Believer? So I got a few responses. And before I get into that, I just like to say I'm so excited. Okay. So if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Ensure you hit that subscribe button. Turn on your post notifications so you're alert every single time I post a video. And trust me, it's gonna go all the way up from here. All right, so let's get into the questions. So the first one is, which school did I attend? So I attended the St. Hughes High School in Kingston, Jamaica, and I went there for 5 years. And I did sixth form at Jose Marti Technical High School. No, I know, right? So a lot of people be like, St. Hughes, Jose Marti. Is it because in Jamaica, traditional schools, it's like a big difference if you went to a traditional school, and there's a lot of hype around it here. So to get into sixth form at a traditional school, you have to pass math and English for CXC, and I did not pass math. So I failed math. And they didn't accept me. And so I went there. I was like, listen, I've been there for 5 years. I need to get into sixth form. No. So I waited till last minute to apply because I was so sure I was going to get in, even though I didn't have math. And by the time I applied, every other school application was closed. And so a friend told me about Jose Marti and that they had a sixth form. So I applied there and I got through. I resit math there. I passed. I did my CAPE subjects, and I went on to university. So that's my high school life. The other question is, how did I get started in business? Okay, so my brand, The Fancy Believer, if you're new to it, explained is fancy, meaning fashionable, dress well, because from a tender age I was always into fashion. I love makeup, I love dressing up, and so that's how the fancy aspect came in. And then I'm a believer, as in I'm baptized. I believe in Jesus Christ, so I go to church, I participate, read my Bible, so I'm a Christian. So when I go to church, and I'm always dressed nicely and I high heels and so on. And I would say, oh, she's so fancy. And then the term Fancy Believer came about. And I would post, I created a blog, created a website, thefancybeliever.com. Check it out. And I was posting about fashion, inspiration, travel, because professionally I work in the tourism industry, so I have knowledge there. And I decided that I'd like to explore my country as well, and I wanted to document it. So I created a blog, fancybeliever.com, as I said. And then a friend said to me, you can do so much more. And she was just in my skin. You can do magazines. You can do these little pick art thing and put the pictures together and you can post them. I was like, girl, I don't know how to do those things. And she told me what to use. And that's how I started trying to take my brand to a next level. And then I had another friend and he was like, listen, the Fancy Believer is a whole brand. You have a niche, you have a market, and you need to start pouring into it. And I really took up the mantle. Was like, listen, I'm going to do this. I started out with bracelets, which I have on one, by the way. This is a gold one. It says I'm a believer, in stock soon. And I realized that when I dropped the merchandise, it was well received. And I was like, listen, I think I have a market out there, so I'm going to try, get some more stuff and just dive in. So that's really how the business aspect happened. Apart from being business-minded, I know that I wanted to have my own business and I know what I want to do. That's how I really started the whole business of the Fancy Believer. And next question was if I have kids. No, I don't have any children. And I am 29 years old. So do you think Christian women are imitating the world too much as it relates to fashion? Okay, so This is quite an interesting question and one that I get a lot, because when I just started out in my journey in fashion, I was all about being trendy, being on top of my game. I would watch all the runway shows, I read magazines, I watch a lot of TV series, and as being a believer, as I stated, going to church, I'm dressing very fashionable. So it's not a matter of we're imitating the world too much. It's just if you're into fashion, then there are certain trends that you're going to want to follow. Now, where the line comes in, that very, very thin line comes in, is with your Christianity. And to know what your borders are, you have to know what is acceptable. You can be fashionable and still be very modest. I remember one time, and I tell the story all the time, because I would have on the tightest dresses and I'm good, I'm going to church. Why are you looking at me? You come to church to serve God. Stop preemie. Hello. So it really took growth and growing up in church, Bible study, reading the word, to understand that you can be a stumbling block to someone just by the way you dress. And you just have to be considerate of those around you in corporate worship. And so after that phase, it was a whole phase in my life. So after I grew, after that phase, I started to find ways of, so if I wanted to wear a close fitted dress, I'd wear a kimono or a cardigan over it that's flowy, that would hide my figure. So those are the little things that I would start to do to ensure that I'm not being a stumbling block to somebody. And so if we're not careful, persons will just see fashion out there and I want to do this and I'm going to put this on and I don't care. I'm going to church to serve God. You should just come to serve God as well and don't watch me, watch yourself type of thing. But it doesn't work like that. So there's a very thin line that we have to be careful as it relates to Christianity and fashion. As I said, I went through the phases. Listen, I had a good clean church mother cuss me right out. Listen. And I must say, can we rebuke in love? Thanks. Please rebuke in love, because I felt so bad. It was loud because my dress was tight for real. I'm not disputing that, but man, she did me bad. So, and again, the Holy Spirit, as it comes with growth, the Holy Spirit to tell you as well, don't wear that dress, don't wear that shirt, don't wear that skirt. And so that conscious voice that's in your head, that's the Holy Spirit talking to you. So listen, especially if you have the running anointing, just don't wear that little short, some of them. Yeah, that little cleavage, some of them. Yeah. So it all comes with growth. Fashion is what it is. So it is not about imitating. What is trendy is what is going to be hip, is what's out there, and persons are going to gravitate towards that. And your style is your personal thing, and you can put your own spin on it. And again, with Christianity, you have to consider that, and you have to just remain modest while you mix the two. Okay? All right. So, the hardest decision you had to make in life. I don't think I've had a decision just yet that was so hard that, oh my God. I have to think about that question. And so somebody asked me about my salvation story. All right, my salvation story is I got baptized at 11 years old. I went to a prep school, and it was an Adventist prep school. And of course, we teach about Jesus Christ, and some of my friends were Christian. And I was very intrigued. I wanted to know more about it. I'm a friend of Christian. Someone want to be Christian to type of thing, when they're young. And I got baptized at 11. As I said, I was in the Adventist faith, and I was just going to church throughout my years. I literally grew up in church. Even though no one else in my immediate family is saved or is a Christian, I still continue that journey, because at the end of the day, I think it comes down to mindset. And at a young age, I realized that whatever you put your mind to, that's definitely what you're gonna go after. So you have to get your mind right, and that's exactly where the devil always attacks first, your mind, because you know that once you can get into your mind, then the entire body will follow. So always get your mind right, people. Get your mind right. Yes, so I got baptized. I was in Adventist faith. Then I went to high school where I met my best friend, and she was going to church, and she invited me to her church one day, and she went to a church on a Sunday. So I was like, okay, and I went there, and it was so different. They had music. They were clapping hands. If you're in Adventist faith, well, I don't know if it's different now, but back then, it's not very loud. The clapping, drum, no, it's none of that. And I liked it. I felt comfortable. I used to have a notion that people who go to church on a Sunday, they're just not going to heaven, and that's what I was taught, and that's what is fed to you, and that's why it's important not to do religion but to know the Bible. And I won't get into who is going to church on a Saturday and Sunday. For me, once you're saying Jesus Christ, I am good. Once you know the word for yourself, get to have a relationship with God so he can reveal things to you for yourself, I am fine. I'm all about Jesus. And so I went over to that faith, and I felt like it was just a new start, and I wanted to get baptized again. So I asked the counselor at the time, do I have to get baptized again? And she said no. And I told her I wanted to do it because it just felt like something brand new. And so I went ahead and I did that, and that was in 2009. And ever since, I've been going to that church, and it's been a great journey. I got involved, participated, church secretary, choir director, praise and worship team member. I just got involved, and what I realized is when you're in a community, it helps you to grow. Get involved. When you get involved, you have something that keeps you, something that allows you to keep coming back. It's a fellowship that you have with people that allows you to enjoy church, enjoy ministry, and enjoy this Christian journey, because definitely it is not easy. It is not easy. We are believing in somebody that we literally can't see, and so we walk by faith. So get people who are in the community with you that can encourage you and just to carry you along. And so yeah, I got in that faith and I went through the motions. Another important part is to get somebody that you're accountable to, somebody that you can speak to truthfully, honestly. Let's say, you know, somebody could do that, yeah, and they will lick your head and say, "Why you do that?" But they're rebuking you in love and whip you back into shape, and so you continue on the journey. So that's my salvation story. As I said, I'm still at that church. It's been a great journey, and personally, it's about wanting more of God that fuels me. You have to want more. You have to want to learn about God, because if you're not pursuing that, then you're not gonna be kept in church, going just with the motions of going Sunday after Sunday, Saturday after Saturday, just going to hear the word. After a period of time, it's just gonna become so repetitive to you, and you're gonna get lost. So want to know about this man for yourself. Want to know about God for yourself. Be intrigued and never stop praying. If it's easy to say Jesus, never stop praying. And that is my salvation story. All right, so there was another question. Oh boy, am I single? So I am single in terms of I'm not married, but I'm spoken for. Yes, so I'm spoken for, and I am 29 years old. I was born in October 31st, 1990. Big up to all October people. And that's pretty much Chantel, the fancy believer, in a nutshell. I love doing what I do. I just ventured into makeup, so I became certified. Your girl is now Muya. So I'm now a certified makeup artist. So waiting to get that certificate in my hand. Hit me up. Yeah, so I want to become that one-stop shop. So fashion, you know, it's encompass beauty, makeup, sewing, that type of thing. I want to be an all-rounder. So after this, I'm gonna venture into sewing, gonna go to some classes if this thing passes over, or I'm just gonna read some book and learn to sew myself. So I am really determined to go to the next level, take my brand worldwide, the Fancy Believer, and I'm so happy that you guys are able to share this journey with me, and stay tuned for more. All right, so again, thank you for tuning in, believers, and see you in the next video.